Hey guys, so we've been talking about measurement and we've been talking about different ways that we can measure things. I asked you a couple weeks ago if we were to measure different things, would we always use the same tool and the same unit? And the majority of you explained that we would, and we would use something like a ruler. And that's what we've been practicing. We've been practicing using a ruler and measuring in inches to the nearest half inch and quarter inch. And when we measure and we use inches, what are we trying to find out usually? We're trying to find out how long something is, right? The length of it or the width, maybe how tall something is. We can use this information to do lots of different things. Maybe we need to find a perimeter or an area, or maybe we just want to know how tall someone is in the classroom. Length tells us lots of different things. So let me tell you a little story. I needed some coffee because you guys know I need coffee all the time. So I told Mr. McKee to go pour me some coffee. He said, well, how much coffee do you want? So I thought about it and I said, give me about 6 inches of coffee. And he looked at me like I was crazy. And he said, Miss McKee, I can't give you 6 inches of coffee. That's not a thing. And I was very confused by this. I said, why not? You can measure that 6 inches. So he explained to me that that's not something we do when we want to measure how much liquid is in something. So if I can't use inches and I can't use a ruler, what could I use to measure a liquid? What could I use if I wanted to tell someone how much coffee to give me? Or perhaps I needed to know how much water was in a bathtub. How could I measure that if a ruler won't work? So that's what we're going to be talking about this week. We're going to be talking about how to measure liquid. And a way to do that is using something, let me go backwards. The way to do that is when we're measuring capacity. So when I say that we're talking about capacity, we're talking about the measurement of liquid inside something. And we're going to be learning about 4 different units and the 4 different ways we can be measuring. So one of the ways we can measure, and this is something that you've probably heard, is by measuring in cups. So I have some examples for you guys today. So this is a cup. This is a measuring cup that I had in my kitchen. You guys might have that if someone in your house cooks. Maybe it's you or a parent. So this is a cup. Another thing that you will see a lot that you can use as a benchmark for about how much a cup is a milk carton at school. When you guys get your lunches at school, this cup is, a cup is about a milk carton worth at school, okay? You don't technically need to know this in 3rd grade, but there's something else called fluid ounces, and that's another way to measure something. Fluid ounces, and it's abbreviated with FLOZ. You do not need to know how to do this in 3rd grade. However, this is going to be helpful when you are looking at measurements of things. So if you're looking at a cup, which is also abbreviated with a letter C, it is 8 fluid ounces. Okay? And you can think about a milk carton at school, and that's about how much a cup is. Then the next way we can measure, the next unit, is a pint. A pint is just double a cup. Okay? So it's a cup 2 times. So 2 of these, 2 8 ounces. And if I have 8 ounces and 8 ounces, how many ounces does that give me? 16 ounces. Okay? So 2 cups is 16 fluid ounces, which is the same as a pint. Right here. This is a pint. If I was to look closely, you could see, let's see if I can focus that for you guys. Okay? It says 1 pt, 1 pint. It also says 16 fluid ounces. Okay? So this is also a pint. Then the next thing we have is a quart. You can measure things in quarts. A quart is 4 cups. And in 3rd grade, we do not need to convert any of these units. We do not need to say how many cups are in 1 quart. You don't need to know that. I'm just telling you this information. So 4 cups is the same as a quart. It's also 32 ounces, which makes sense because I know that 1 cup is 8 ounces. And if I did 8 times 4, that would give me 32 fluid ounces. So a quart is the same thing as 4 cups. It's the same thing as saying 4 of these or 2 pints. And that is a quart. So here is an example of a quart for you. my coffee creamer. And if you look at the bottom, you can actually see that it says 1 quart, 32 fluid ounces. So this is a quart. So you can tell it's significantly bigger than a cup. And the last unit of measurement that we have is a gallon. This is probably one that you're the most familiar with, especially if you guys are drinking milk at home. A gallon, here's a gallon of milk, okay? Gallon's the biggest. A gallon is 128 fluid ounces, so it's 16 cups or 4 pints. Again, you don't have to know this, but this is just something that is helpful. Now I'm going to go ahead and just show you what the 4 different units look like next to each other. I do want to go ahead and make you aware of something, that we're talking about cups, but just because I'm using the measurement of a cup, that does not mean a drinking cup. This is not a cup. This is just a glass or a drinking cup you drink out of. This is not a specific measurement. We want a very specific cup. So if I was to show you, flip this over for you, this cup and this cup, would they hold the same amount of water? No way, Jose. This one would hold way more water than this one. So this is an actual measurement of a cup. So this thing can go away. So we have a cup, we have a pint, we have a quart, and we have our gallon. So here are our 4 units that we are going to be working on. Oop. So, hello. Cup, pint, quart, and gallon. These are our 4 units we're going to be working on all week to understand capacity, to understand about how much liquid can fit into something. We're focusing on 3rd grade estimating about how many cups would fit in this, about how many quarts. So we're kind of learning how to guess by making those estimates. You don't need to convert these units, especially for parents who want to know that. They don't need to be able to convert units. And later what we're going to be doing is solving word problems with just using this terminology, really. This is something you guys are going to be using in your life, though, especially when you are doing things like cooking and baking. You need to know this. So this is something that is a very real thing in life. Okay, I told you I would tell you when real life stuff happens, and this is something you're going to need to know. So today what you're going to do is you have a fun activity. You're going to go on a scavenger hunt. Yay! So you are going to log into the Google Classroom, and you will see I've created a Google slide that everyone is going to share in the class. So you're not making your own copy. What you're going to do is you're going to go around your house, and I want you to find one thing that is a cup. Okay? It does not have to be a measuring cup. It could be something that you think would hold the same amount of liquid as a cup. Okay? So if you don't have a measuring cup, or you don't have something that tells you it's exactly a cup, that's fine. Just walk around your house, try to find something that would hold about a cup. Then you're going to take a picture of it, and you're going to insert the picture into our Google slide, and there's a slide that says cup. Okay. Pint, same thing. Go around your house, try to find something that has a pint. If you don't have something that's exactly a pint, find something that looks like it's about a pint. I will tell you the hardest one I think that kids struggle with is knowing the difference between a cup and a pint. You guys do a pretty good job with gallon, and you guys will probably identify a quart pretty easily, but pint and cup is where you guys, usually in my experience, struggle with a little bit, because these seem pretty similar, because this is just double a cup, okay? And then you're going to find a gallon and take a picture. Now again, if you don't have a gallon of milk, that's fine. Find something in your house that's roughly about, that would hold the same amount of a gallon, and take a picture of that and put that in the slide. Everyone's sharing the same slide, so don't mess with other people's pictures. I can always fix things if kids do, though, don't worry. This is fun. If you are walking around a house and in 5 minutes you haven't found anything, that's okay. Maybe you're going to find something later. You don't need to rush this. Make this a fun scavenger hunt, okay? And if you really want to challenge yourself, if this is easy for you, I challenge you to find a picture that no one else has found. So if someone's put up a gallon of milk, I challenge you to find something that's not a gallon of milk that probably would hold a gallon also. So that's my challenge for you if you find this interesting, okay? So capacity, that's our goal to learn this week. How much a cup, pint, quart, and gallon hold. You do not need to know the fluid ounces, but I think that is helpful to know. And there are just some items to help you remember.